Yeah, just happy to be here. The support from everyone. Obviously, after the game we had, just wanted to respond as a team, and I thought we did that well tonight. And I'm happy to be part of this team, and just want to keep going, and hopefully we get a win on Sunday.
You were part of one of the craziest Game 7s ever. So what advice do you give to a group that maybe hasn't experienced that level of competitiveness and just that level of going at it?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's going to take everything. A lot of crazy stuff's going to happen. Just got to stay, within what we do. And as long as you come in to the game, with kind of pure energy and just playing as hard as you can, staying together. I think that's the most important. And again, we're going on the road, so there's going to be things that's going to happen that for us might not be things that we expect or whatever. And there's going to be crowds, and it's going to be a lot of things. We just got to manage it, stay together. I think that's the main thing that I'll be preaching to the guys. Just bring your energy and bring everything you got. And whenever things are not going well, just stay together and continue to fight.
Pascal, they changed their starting five, and that's given you different matchups these last two games. What has that kind of allowed you to do or do differently against them?
No, I just try to play my game. To be honest, I think the way we play is just, it doesn't really matter. I just got to continue to play my game, no matter what's happening on the other side, and that's what I try to do.
Multiple of them, and Ty said they're ugly, but what is so different about Game 7s compared to any other game you've played in before?
It's gritty, it's both teams are gonna play hard. It's gonna be hard. Some things, you might not make a shot, you whatever. It's a lot of things that's gonna happen, and I think as long as you just kind of stay focused within the game plan and just play with energy, I think the hardest playing team usually win those games. So that should be our focus.
Pascal, earlier in the playoffs, your free throw shooting, it looks like you were struggling there. But lately, your free throw shooting has improved. There's shots going down at the line. What's changed? Has it been mechanics? Is it mentality? What's changed there for you?
Nothing. Nothing.
Pascal, you've talked about energy a lot throughout this. Someone who kind of embodies energy is TJ McConnell. He was big again tonight, even had the crowd chanting his name for a while. Can you kind of speak to TJ and what he's brought throughout this series for this team?
Yeah, TJ's he's a rock star, just his energy, the way he plays the game. Obviously, being here in Indy, the home crowd, love him and we love him. I just think that once he comes in with a pace and pressuring the other guards, and he just makes our team so much better. I think obviously we have Tyrese coming in with a pace, and once we get to the bench, he doesn't drop. So I think TJ is a big part of that because he just bring the pace, and that's something we want to do. So he's a huge part of that. And when he's rolling like that and playing fast, our team is so much better.
Excited to get the opportunity. Now it's a one-game series, and it's for all the marbles. And I think it's kind of where better to have a Game 7 than the Garden. So I'm really excited about it. Our group's excited to get the opportunity to compete. We haven't won a game there yet. No teams won a game on the road in this series. So we got to be ready to go from start to finish for 48 minutes.
And then how do you think you've grown throughout this series, just as far as figuring out, okay, pick my spots, who I am as a player, things like that, and how can you maybe just know who you are in Game 7?
Yeah, I think just using the experience from every game on a game-to-game basis. There's been some different circumstances every game in terms of, how the game's flowing, how many shots I'm shooting, who's defending me. There's been some different circumstances throughout the series. So just trying to, use all those, put all of them in my toolbox and, use it to the best of my ability going into Game 7.
What was the film session after Game 5 like?
I think Coach just challenged our effort. I think that was the biggest thing. We had some boneheaded things happen offensively, turnovers, and that hasn't really hurt us at all this playoffs. But I think when you go back and look at Game 5, the majority of everything that affected us was rebounding the basketball. A lot of their points were off second chance. And then they kept rebounding the ball. That didn't allow us to play in transition, so that affected our offense too at the same time. So I think when you go back and look at Game 5, you just really look at the rebounding. And I think it looks like, the challenge is on Miles because it's rebounds typically, what bigs do. But I would say that it's more I think the challenge was put more on us surrounding him, to help him come down and do what we can on our guards to come down and rebound. Herrenstein likes to tip out a lot, so we got to box our guys out, be at the free throw line, be ready to get it. If our guy doesn't crash, we got to go in and help, sandwich the big. I think just trying to understand where we can be better. And I think that when Miles knows that we got his back going to rebound, I think he feels more confident there. So I think he just really challenged our group, 1 through 15, 1 through 18. How can we be better and just play harder for 48 minutes?
And then the timeout that was called right at the start of the second half, it seemed like it was a really key moment. You guys rallied out of that. What was that timeout like on the bench?
Yeah, I think when you go back and look at Game 5, I think Coach did a great job of calling some timeouts to kind of, nip their runs in the bud. And, I thought we did a bad job of just, coming together. I felt like I talked about after the game, it was like a little frantic, you know what I mean? And I don't know if that was because we're on the road and, whatever the case is, but I thought that's part of the maturation of this group is just coming together and responding the right way. And we didn't start the third quarter the right way. If you count the three that they hit, before if you count the three they hit before halftime, they really were on like an 8-0 run there, and we had to figure out what we were going to do. We made some shots. Double A had a big tip out that led to a three for me, and I think just figuring out how we can be better and just maintain a sense of urgency and not panicking, but I think urgency over panicking, those are two very different things, and I think we got to do that.
Tyrese, you mentioned it before, Game 7 at the Garden. This is one of the biggest opportunities a player has in his career, one of the biggest audiences, really the biggest that will ever watch you play so far in your career. Can you just speak to what it means to have this opportunity to showcase yourself and your team in front of such a big national audience?
It's just exciting. It's exciting for us. A lot of us, this is our first playoff experience, let alone first Game 7. You know what I mean? So I think we're all excited about it. We got to be ready to go for 48 minutes. The Garden is an unbelievable environment. And the crowd will be rowdy, and we just haven't won there yet. So we got to prove that we're able to do that. And I think it starts on the defensive side of being able to rebound the ball so that we can get out and run and things like that. But I'm really excited about the opportunity. I think that, when you're a young up-and-coming team, it's easy to be like, man, we're never on TV. People never get to see us play. Well, you got to earn it. And I think we're on our way to doing that by winning the first-round series. But, you can continue to do that by winning this series and, hopefully playing the Eastern Conference Finals. So that stuff's earned, not given, and we got to, prove that we deserve that spotlight to be able to do that.
Tyrese, you mentioned how a lot of you guys have never been in the playoffs before. Pascal has. He was big tonight. Can you mention kind of what his presence has meant throughout this series for you guys and kind of leading you through this series?
Yeah, I think just, composure. I think what Pete does, having played in so many playoff series, is he never gets too high, never gets too low. I think he does a good job of, gathering our group when we're excited and things are going well, and does a good job of gathering our group when things aren't going well and we're frustrated, and, there start to be some splits and dudes are, more consumed about, what happened in the past rather than how we can change it moving forward. So, I think his experience, his poise has helped a lot along with our coaching staff and other guys who have been in this. So he was huge for us, getting a lot of early seals, helping rebound the ball. I thought he just played, one of his better overall games in a Pacers uniform, and what a great time to do it. And so I'm really excited going to Game 7. We have a good rhythm.
Tyrese, you mentioned you got to stay aggressive. That was something you talked about a lot between Game 5 and Game 6. What's the key to keeping up that aggressiveness in Game 7, and how do you maintain it even if things are not going well in Game 7, as they often can be in the Garden?
Yeah, I got nothing to lose. You know what I mean? I think just going into it, realizing it's time. You got to unload the clip. You feel me? You got to be ready to go from start to finish. And aggressive doesn't mean shooting 30 shots. Aggressive means, being a threat, getting downhill, getting 2 feet in the paint is kind of the old school way of thinking. So it doesn't. I'm not really a box score watcher. I've watched the game. I watch a lot of film to understand where can I be better. And so I don't really trip off of field goal attempts. There has been a correlation, directly around my field goal attempts and win and loss, but it's not about that for me. It's can I get 2 feet in the paint and draw help and do other things. So I don't really trip off the box score or anything like that. I just, how can I be aggressive? And I think that, my teammates and coaching staff have done a great job of staying on me. And, Game 7 is going to be an unbelievable environment and something I'm really looking forward to. As a competitor, what more could you want?
Ty, you mentioned getting 2 feet in the paint. One of the bigger plays in that second quarter is the big dunk from Miles, which comes off of Pascal's ceiling baseline and finding him there. Just what did it mean for those two guys to do everything they could to get on top of the rim tonight?
Yeah. I thought they just did a great job, having their presence at the rim offensively. I think, but when we're able to rebound, they crash 5 guys. So, or sometimes, 4. Most of the time, Jalen's not crashing. But if we can rebound and get out and run, that allows us to get our early steals. We're really being on our bigs more to, get on the rim as much as they can, just to have that presence. And then once we're on the rim, we can start to pull them out and shoot the 3 well, which we, typically do. So I think that those guys did a great job. Pascal setting the tone. Miles had a big dunk there early in the first quarter that got him going. But the more that we can just get some rim pressure, and it's not always, driving and getting layup. It's just their presence of posting and getting out and reposting and things like that. So I thought they did a great job setting the tone.
Tyrese, how'd you feel like you guys guarded Brunson tonight? I think he was 2 for 13 in the first half. Ends up, I think, with 31. And Coach Carlisle said it's relentless with him, endless, what he does. But how you feel like you guys did on him tonight?
I thought we did a good job. I thought AA did a really good job of showing his hands. I thought they hunted a lot in Game 5, put me in a lot of action. I thought I did a better job of, being in shows and getting back to mine and getting to the gaps. I thought we did a great job of not fouling and finishing possessions, which has been the biggest thing. And yeah, Jalen is relentless getting downhill. He's an unbelievable player. You just got to show your hands as much as you can, give him different looks when you can, and finish possessions with rebounds because they really capitalize on offensive rebounds, kickouts, and things like that. But I think for the most part, we did a good job.
Tyrese, Rick mentioned the film session, and then you say challenged you guys' effort. Where did this edge come from that you guys showed up with tonight? Is it as simple as the film session being ugly, or what?
I don't know if it's as much as that, as much as it is just, dudes don't want to go home. You know what I mean? We had to come out and play desperate. I think when you're in the playoffs, they always talk about, the more desperate team is typically the team that wins. And us being down 3-2, the pressure was on us. You know what I mean? They know we got to go back to the Garden and win. But we had to come out and just play harder for 48 minutes. And I think we got to maintain that going into Game 7. But I think as a group, there was never a conversation or a thought that our season would be done today. We got to understand that, we were going to take care of it. We understood that, if we came to play the right way today, we'd take care of business. But, we know we got a big game coming on Sunday, and, everybody's got to be ready to go.
Ty, how do you anticipate a Game 7 feeling compared to anything you've ever played in your life?
I expect probably the most unbelievable environment I've ever played in an NBA game. The Garden is a crazy place with they got a rabid fan base, and so I'm excited about it. I'm excited about being on the road and doing something that we haven't done this series, trying to win a game on the road. I'm really excited about that. We know the storied history of this rivalry between these two franchises, and now we're adding another chapter to that. So, I think we're all excited to go. There's going to be a lot of energy in the building from them and from us. And I think just, weathering our emotions as much as we can, don't get too high, don't get too low. It's going to be a game of runs, and I mean, historically, me as a basketball watcher, Game 7s are always so ugly. So I expect an ugly game, and I expect whoever plays harder to win. And I'm excited to be a part of that.
Rick, what did you see from Pascal that kind of helped him get going and helped you guys in turn get going as a team?
It was just activity. We played harder tonight, which was a must. They came out really hard too. That was evident. We moved the ball better and we got more rebounds. And I think, we out-rebounded them, and that's obviously a big key to the series.
You've been in several of them, but what's different about Game 7s, and how do you have to get your team ready for it differently than other games in a series?
Well, it's the ultimate game, and it's a great opportunity. Other than Pascal, I don't know if any of our guys have been in a Game 7. Maybe James Johnson has. This team's been through a lot of new experiences over the last 3.5 weeks, and this will be another new one. And so we'll do everything possible to get them ready. But it's, in Game 7s, it comes down to compete level and, how well you're tied together.
You obviously mentioned the rebounding differential. You guys, it was 47-35, 62-38 in the paint. I mean, did it seem like basically everything that you sort of didn't get in Game 5 and you kind of demanded afterwards is sort of what you got from these guys? You feel like they responded in every way that you were looking for? Well,
they're both aggression stats. And so, we needed to do better in the aggression department. Game 5 in New York was, Game 5 in Milwaukee was tough, but Game 5 in New York was, I would have to say, our lowest aggression game of the entire playoffs. And so, we didn't have a very fun film session yesterday watching it. But, you go through these ups and downs, and it's, young teams are going to grow. So we'll find out how much on Sunday.
You kind of touched on it before, but I mean, you guys got, you got Pascal kind of for games like this. Just how important was having a veteran presence like his when the game could be getting kind of frenetic, particularly in the first half?
Look, he's a tremendous player. We got him because we wanted to make the playoffs and be able to advance in the playoffs. But we're also building something that, we're trying to build something special here, and we think he's a special person along with being a special player. So, tonight in the second half, there were some possessions where, he's the only guy on our roster that can manufacture, a 16-foot shot over a 7-foot guy and make it. And he did it 3 or 4 times, in the third and fourth quarter. So, yeah. But listen, if in a series like this, you can't sit around patting yourself on the back. I mean, that's what gets your ass kicked the next game. So, we're going to keep our celebrations very short, if at all, after this game, and get ready for Sunday afternoon.
Coach, when your team had the lead cut to 5 early in the third quarter, you called a timeout after they went on that 8-0 run or whatever it was. And then you come out, you get a couple big shots. Tyrese hits a 3. What was the message that you were preaching to your team during that timeout to get things turned around?
Well, if you count the 3 at the very end of the half and then the technical thing, I mean, they scored. It was like an 8-0 run in about a minute and a half, So that's how quickly things can change in an NBA game. No matter where you are, whether you're home or whether you're on the road. So I didn't have to say much. The guys in the huddle came together and they said, we got to make a stand and we got to go on a run here. And I think we hit a couple threes and we got things back to where we needed to get them. So that was an important point of the game. Yes.
During that stretch, I think Aaron tips an offensive rebound, keeps it alive. Just what has his physicality on both sides of the floor meant to you guys in this series?
I mean, this series is all about physical. So, we'll take physical anything from anybody. So, that was a great play that he made. He hit a couple, great loose ball plays, and those are the areas we very much fell short in Game 5, and we're going to have to do way better in Game 7.
Rick, how did you see Tyrese just manage the game tonight, and how much do you think he's yearned for these moments to just be in the playoffs, be in a Game 7, things like that?
Yeah, I believe that he understands, what a special privilege it is to play in the playoffs, to advance, to play in the semifinals, and be able to play in a Game 7 on Sunday. I think he has a sense of history. He's a guy that studies the game. And so his aggression, throughout the game was key, because even when he wasn't scoring, it was leading to other good things for us.
You obviously got going a little bit in the end, but you guys held Brunson to 2 of 13 shooting in the first half. What did you like about just the force that sort of everybody brought to that matchup? Obviously, more than one guy, but what did you like about just how you guys defended him?
He ended up with 31 points, so I'm not going to celebrate, something that happened for, one half of a game. I mean, look, this guy is doing some historic stuff in the playoffs, And, you know, he went on a crazy run in the last 3 minutes he was in there, hit 2 or 3 threes and, you know, got fouled once or something, you know. So there's no resting on him. There's no feeling good about anything with him. You know, it's an endless task, you know, when you face a player like him in a series like this. So we got to brace for Sunday. You know, we know the kind of effort he's going to bring on Sunday. We know the kind of effort they're going to bring on Sunday. And we must be ready.